Hey everyone, this is Tony again. Just doing another little show and tell video of some of the sculptures on my studio shelves. So this is the creature from the Black Lagoon, and you could see. Let's see, you can see how big he is. He's about the size of my hand, which is pretty big. I would say it's about 11 inches tall, 10 inches tall, half life size. So it's done in Chavant NSP, which is a non-sulfur plasticine, and it is the hard grade. It's very hard. I did this a couple of years ago, so it's gotten even harder. It's dried out a little bit. Um, but I just wanted to talk about it and show you some of my tools here. These are loop tools, traditional loop tools, different shapes on either end. You got your rakes. That rake is pretty worn down. That's a wax tool, I think. It's a little rake, serrated edge there. And this is a dentist tool. You can see how old and caked on with epoxy it is. It's just a burnishing tool that you kind of burnish things flat with, and it's the other end is pointy. You can get in there and make some nice scribe lines like that. But those are my traditional sculpting tools that have been with me for many, many years. You can see how they've been repaired over time with epoxy and reinforced with epoxy. So it's just a board with underneath that is a little pipe, maybe a 3-inch, that's a 3-inch nipple on a flange. This is 1/4 inch pipe. So it's not that big, it's 1/4 inch. And inside that pipe, that's inside the clay. Inside that pipe, I just stick some 1/4 inch aluminum armature wire, stick it right in there, and just make a big loop. And that's it. I just keep the armatures real simple. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to show a demo. I'm going to create a whole playlist of sculpting a portrait. I'm not sure who I'm going to do yet. It might be the Beatles, one of the Beatles. It might be Mickey Mantle, might be Willie Mays. I'm just looking for an interesting face and gathering some reference. And I'm going to do the whole process as a playlist. But so there you go. People ask, how do you get this clay? How do you tool this clay smooth? Each one of these little scales is just a little ball of clay pushed on there. But how do you get it smooth? I like to use one of these. This is an alcohol torch. It's a dental torch. You can get them on Amazon. It's about $5. It's so inexpensive and such a great little tool. Let's see if I can't show you quickly. I'm trying to do this one-handed. So that's filled with alcohol, denatured alcohol. And you light the wick. Okay, let's just give that a second to catch. And you see that little question mark shaped tube? That's coming up out of the bottle. And when you squeeze the bottle, you see how it blows the flame outward in like a pinpoint. It blows out a pinpoint of flame, and you could really control it that way. And you'll see it. You see that? It's tough to see. Hang on. Let me just shut my light. Maybe you could see it a little bit better. So I'm going to shoot. See how it's blowing a pinpoint of flame out? I'm going to shoot it at the lip there. I gotta wait a second before the flame gets a little higher, but it will sort of melt the surface. I'm just waiting for this wick to kind of, there you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to shoot out like that. And it will kind of melt the surface. Well, I see that I burned the surface, but it will soften the clay again. And then you can get in there with some tiny loop tools like this and do your detailing. But it's a great little tool. I highly recommend if you're going to be using these hard clays, these oil clays, use that. And another great thing about this, and you heat up these sanding pads, these 3M sanding pads. This is the medium grit, comes in a finer grit as well. And if you heat up these pads, you just got to be careful you don't burn it. You just kind of heat up the pad. You can go over and basically sand your surface. That's how hard this clay gets. And you can get a beautiful, beautiful smooth finish if that's what you're looking for. And then you go back with this. And that's the process of smoothing out these things. But I'm going to put this camera on a tripod and try to do a full, 8 to 10 hour series of sculpting a portrait bust for you guys. Hopefully I can get to that in the next weekend or two. So thank you for looking. If you have any questions, just put them below. And please visit me at Facebook at Tony Cipriano Sculpture on Facebook. And that's about it. Thank you again. Please subscribe if you can. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.